Greetings, fellow citizens. This is my first Ask Rep Q&A video number 1. This is where you, the subscriber, or the viewer, ask me any question you want, and I will give you an incoherent answer. So here we go! Explosion, explosion, explosion! Jeff Bango asks, why haven't you tried World of Warcraft? And what is your favorite game? I'm a gamer, so if I'm a gamer and I have never played World of Warcraft, wouldn't that kind of make me a hypocrite? So to properly correct your question, I have played World of Warcraft. In fact, I downloaded the 10-day trial, and I managed to spend over 15 hours within a day and a half on just the 10-day trial. So I figured that me getting started on WoW wouldn't be the best decision for my education and my future. As for my all-time favorite game, that would have to be Half-Life 2 and Bad Company 2. Electric Alpha asks, do you hate Eric Douglas? Nope. I don't hate anyone on YouTube. HappyBeard1 asks, have you ever met a celebrity? Hey, you look hot. SappySoapChick07 asks, what verse of scripture means the most to you and why? A verse in scripture that means the most to me would have to be 1 Corinthians 13, and this is known as the love chapter. It is also commonly quoted as love never fails. This is my favorite scripture verse because it deals with the aspect of love and what we are like if we don't have love towards others. CruisAsRulesy asks, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your favorite color? For a total of 10 points, I would have to say black is my favorite color. And before anyone says black's not a color, I say it's a color, therefore black is a color. Starzy7744 asks, what is your positions on animal abuse? I am completely against animal abuse in any type of way or fashion, and if you would like to know more on my specific beliefs on animal abuse, you can watch this video, and it should sum it up pretty clear. Firewolf8123 asks, what makes you angry? You do. On a more serious note though, people in general make me angry, specifically customers who are really picky, especially if you're working like a fast food restaurant and they're really being a douchebag for them pretty much, and they keep coming back, you didn't get my order right, you didn't get this right, man. You know those, you know the type of people I'm talking about. The people who just can never have a perfect meal. They always have to come and complain and try to get a free meal because you put a piece of lettuce on their salad when they said specifically that they only wanted tomatoes. However, a piece of lettuce got on their salad and they're all pissy and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those type of people, I just want to jump over the counter, grab a sledgehammer and beat their head to the ground until their head explodes. I just don't like those people, and those type of people really get me angry, and I have a very low tolerance and patience for those type of people. Shotgun is always the way. Sci-Fi Right Guy asks, what is your opinion on reincarnation? It's a pile of crap along with karma. Although if I was to go into an animal, I would choose to be a donkey just because I consider myself a complete and utter jackass at times, so I think that would be appropriate. Razor007273 asks, do you know what Emmetric polyally is? I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. I do know what that is, and I think I pronounced it wrong though. Anyway, it deals with Skynet, and if you know what Skynet is, it kind of deals with Terminators, and the Terminators type of metal that they use on their robotics and things. That really shows you that because I know of a virtual metal that doesn't really exist, and the fact that I know what it is really shows you that I'm a geek. Mountain Chief 106 asks, who didn't flush? Your grandpa. Awesomely Good Username asks, do you smoke weed? Do I smoke weed? Absolutely not. I've never tried it. I've never been tempted. Okay, I have been tempted, but I've never had a desire, even though I've been pressured to try marijuana and those type of drugs. I've never smoked weed, marijuana, or anything like that, nor have I smoked a bong, and I'm never going to. The reason I have never tried this is because I'm majoring in criminal justice, and I can't have any type of drug use that have been used in the past 5 years of my application. So I've never tried drugs, and if I try drugs, then I'm screwed and I can never get into my job, which I'm working and majoring in currently right now towards criminal justice and becoming a law enforcement officer. AMK71839 asked, what are your PC specs? Did you custom build it? I did custom build my own computer, and that's kind of my hobby. I love building computers and working on computers. As far as my computer specs are concerned, I have a 500GB hard drive external. I have a 150GB 72 RPM hard drive, then I have another 250GB 72 RPM hard drive. I have 6 gigs of DDR3 memory running at 1600 megahertz. I have a i7 Core 720 overclocked to 3.5 gigahertz. I have an Asus P6X58DE which is my motherboard, and those are my primary components. I also have an 850 watt power supply, which is a modular power supply, meaning I can take all the cables that I don't need out of my power supply so I can have a nice clean looking system to game on. My graphics card is a Radeon HD 5850 Black Edition overclocked version, which has like a gig of memory or whatever, and it's very fast. Although I'm an NVIDIA fan, when I was building my computer, I figured that this Radeon card, which is better performance than the NVIDIA card that I wanted, was more performance for the amount that I was spending, so I went with Radeon. Although I am a hardcore NVIDIA fan, and I actually plan on upgrading my GPU, general processing unit, very soon to an NVIDIA chipset. So those are my PC specs. Alphemus Core asks, is Deadpool or Wolverine? That is a tough question, but I'm going to have to say both. Both are my two favorite characters within the entire Marvel universe, is Deadpool and Wolverine, then is Magneto, and then a couple others. Deadpool and Wolverine are very equal to my favorite characters, and I can't really decide which one I like because I have comics in my room and on my wall of both of them, and I love them to death, so I have to say both. Shadowcry01 asks, Batman or Superman? Should be fairly apparent when you see this. Dun-dun! It's Batman! Yeah, I choose Batman over Superman. Tallygun asks, longest constant gaming time on any game. Longest time I ever played a game was over 14 hours, and that was when Halo 3 was released on the first day of launch. The second game I spent the most time was Gears of War 2, when I played cooperative on I believe the hardest setting with my friend, and we did that in about 12 hours. Those are my two longest gaming sessions I've ever went, was Gears of War 2, 12 hours, and Halo 3. On the day of launch, I did multiplayer for about 14 hours straight, so those are my two longest gaming sessions. Dacatate11 Pokemon asks, what is your favorite Pokemon? My favorite Pokemon would have to be the cutest little fuzzy little guy named Charmander and Squirtle. I absolutely love Charmander and Squirtle, and they're my two favorite Pokemon, especially since those were like original Pokemon, and now there's like a total of 600 Pokemon, and I don't even keep track anymore. I remember just growing up playing Game Boy when there was only like 100. I like to stick in the classics of Pokemon, where they're just, you know, the 100. Now there's so many that I don't even know half of them, or I don't even really care, although I love Pokemon. It's just I prefer the classic Pokemon characters instead of all these new creatures that are now here. So yeah, so my two favorite Pokemon, Charmander and Squirtle. Oh, they're so adorable. If I could have them as pets, I would. This is Epicable asks, since we're all technically descendants of Adam and Eve, does this mean that Christians support incest? Not at all, because the genetics of human beings were perfect and therefore did not cause harm to having intermarriage. However, I should note that God eventually did outlaw this practice because of the mutations in the gene pool evolving from the slow decay of sin in our depraved world at the time. OH97 asks, how do you wash your gloves that you always wear? I mean these gloves, or I should say, yeah, this glove right here. This glove is actually installed inside this jacket, as in like I can take it off and put it in here like that, and then ta-da, perfect. See, it's installed within the arm sleeve, and I wash the gloves as they're part of the shirt, just like any other piece of clothing. Cyber Molly System asks, if you were to become a famous celebrity, would you continue to make videos here on YouTube? Absolutely. If by some rare chance I became a YouTube celebrity or a celebrity in general, I wouldn't change my video format. I'd still make videos pertaining to Christianity. I'd still make videos talking about myself, video logs, things like that. I wouldn't change. And one of the things that if I did become a YouTube celebrity by some amazing rare chance, although that's not gonna happen, if it did though, I would never resort to becoming a subscription whore like so many people here on YouTube are. Wizardman300 asks, how long have you been poning noobs? The moment my mother gave birth to Repzion. Haley and Gerbil asks, what advice do you have for people to get over breakups? Don't be like Taylor Swift, and if you don't know what I mean by that, you can watch my video here. Girl with Cool Eyes asks, would you still do YouTube even if you were a girl? Absolutely. The difference is if I was a girl and I was making YouTube videos like I am right now, I'd probably have over 25,000 subscribers just because I'm a girl. J Benjamin 82 asks, what are 5 things you'd like to do/see before you die, and what do you look for in a woman? 5 things I'd like to do before I die: go skydiving, go to South America, go to Africa, go to Egypt, go to Paris. Those are the 5 things. As for what I look for in a woman, she has to be attractive, obviously. She either has to be brunette, blonde or have black hair. She has to be kind or nice to some degree. Someone who doesn't flirt with other men, and someone who isn't always self-centered on how they feel and what they want. XX Silence and Broken X asks, do you have any girls you are interested in? Yes, I do, but I should say singular, as in girl. I'm not interested in multiple girls, plural with an S. I'm only interested in one girl right now, although she's not really interested in me. That's okay, but again, singular. I'm only interested in one girl. H0007 asks, if you were a girl for a day, what would you do? If I was a girl for the day, the first thing I would do is this. Hawkeye19970 asks, do you like the Legend of Zelda series? Do I ever? I absolutely love Legend of Zelda. I grew up playing the colored version of Zelda on the Game Boy, and then I also played the N64 2 games of Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, and the other Zelda game. I can't think of the name at the moment, but I'm a big fan of the Zelda games. I love them, and I'll always be a Zelda fan just because they're such fun, and they're games that make you think. They have puzzles. It's a great franchise of games. I've always loved and enjoyed the Legend of Zelda series. Solid Metal V asks, in your personal belief, is it okay to listen to heavy metal and be a Christian? And why do you object to swearing? For me, as a Christian, I think it's perfectly acceptable to listen to heavy metal. However, there are other Christians who have different convictions on what they're allowed to see, watch, hear, all those sorts of things. And for those people, I can't speak for them. I listen to all genres of music, but I try to stay away from any type of music that glorifies sin in our secular world today. And when I say glorifies sin, I simply mean things like using vulgar amounts of profanity pertaining to women, or talking about pimps and drugs. Those are things that I try to stay away from in listening to any genre of music. But to answer your question, I think it's perfectly okay for me to listen to heavy metal music. However, I can't speak for other Christians out there. As for why I object to swearing is because I believe in the Bible, and the Bible states that we as Christians should not use vulgar or profane or obscene type of speech. Hence why I object to swearing. David Rocket 1 asks, do you like cheese? Do I ever? I love cheese except for the side effects of gas it gives me. Nikes BJ asks, if you had to choose, would you rather be a toaster or a microwave? If I had to choose between being a microwave or a toaster, I would definitely choose being a toaster. Do you know why? Because I could be a Darth Vader toaster and make Darth Vader toast. And no, I'm not making that up. I'd choose being a toaster. Goofface28 asks, do you prefer Coke or Pepsi? I prefer Pepsi, and I will always stick with Pepsi. Kazuki X asks, as a Seattleite, or Seattleite, I don't know how to say that, as a Seattleite, a answer to this question is mandatory. What do you think of the Space Needle? What do I think of the Space Needle? It is an awesome, totally rad, and totally awesome sauce building. In fact, it's the coolest building in the entire city of Seattle. In fact, I'm hoping on my 20th or 21st birthday that I will actually be going up there for my birthday or my graduation, which is coming up this June sometime. So if I end up going to the Space Needle, I will definitely record that and upload it to YouTube so you guys can see the awesomeness that lies within the Space Needle. Mr. Mrs. Repzion. Oh my goodness. Mr. Mrs. Repzion asks, what do you look for in a girl? Certainly not someone with a name like Mrs. Repzion, who got rejected. Now that, as a whole, sums up my first Ask Rep Q&A video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I also want to say that if you guys would like another one of these videos, and hopefully it will be even longer than this one, feel free to write in the comments below or make a video response asking me your questions. I'm leaving it up to you guys as the viewers or subscribers. If you would like another one of these type of videos, you guys have to do your part and ask creative, funny, random, or completely bizarre questions, and I will try to make another video. So again, I'm leaving it up to you guys. If you want another one of these videos, you have to do your part and ask a question. Before I end, I just want to make a shout out to XGT Dave X for making an awesome Flash introduction for my Q&A video, which is seen at the start of this video. He did that using Adobe Flash, and I just wanted to say thank you for making that. I really appreciate it. And if you would like to check him out as he is learning Flash, and maybe he can design you an intro also, I don't know. If you would like to check him out, his channel is located here, so feel free to do that. And I just want to thank you guys for asking the questions, and hope you guys are all doing fantastico. Until then, peace out.